Good evening, all. Good evening, YouTube. Good evening, chat. Good evening, fellas. How are we?
All right. Very good.
Cool. So we've got a slightly different lineup this evening in a slightly different place.
Yeah.
So we've got Gareth, obviously below me.
Yeah. Oh, you're broken up, Paul.
Yeah. We've got. Can you hear me right now?
Yeah, you're good.
We've got obviously Tom with Drippy, aka Ryland, or Ryland, aka Drippy, and they're in a hotel room. We'll come back to that in a moment, if we may. We're missing a couple.
Are you having that side or that side? Don't tell them. Let them guess. Guess in the chat. Sorry.
We'll put a poll up if I can get a poll up. Drippy,
left, right, or floor?
Left or right? But anyway, we'll come back to that in a minute. So Jay's at the 2020 cricket tonight, so he can't make it. And Steve is on another late shift. So he's struggling to get not off of lates at the moment. So he'll send his apologies and he'll be with us as soon as he can. But for now, he can't. So what we're going to cover tonight. So we've got reefing, so holidays and how do you deal with holidays, preparation, nightmares, good, bad, and indifferent. So we'll come back to that in a little bit. So we'll start with Tom and Drippy. Why are you together? How are you together?
Go for it. Over to you. Had a bit of a mental day, but we got a lot done. So I finally changed the rockscape and the substrate that was going to start off as just a rockscape, and then move the whole tank out. Cleaned everything up and then moved everything back in, and we just couldn't get the corals on the rock today because we didn't have enough time. But the way I'm going, as in predominantly aquapora, the sand, the flow, which is obviously vital, the sand just was a pain in the behind. So swapped the sand out. Got a couple of 40-pound bags of crushed coral. I didn't know you took that, all right.
Good photo. You're actually doing something.
Yeah. Crushed coral, new scape higher, because this was another thing that I was really happy about. The XR30 Gen 6s, the par is crap. So rockscape higher, not too high, but higher for the more delicate stuff at the top. And then we got some new ledges and bits and pieces. I haven't really got a full photo of what the scape looks like because the cloudiness from the water hadn't cleared by about past. What time did you leave mine? 5?
5:30. Yeah, I set off from sunny Rotherham, South Yorkshire at what? 4:45 this morning. I set off, got here for 7 o'clock. So pretty much record.
Do the math on that, by the way.
Got down here in 2 hours, which is pretty good. So we have some breakfast, and then we started about 9:30, 10,
something like that.
Started like 10, emptying it, and put the rock in vats, caught the fish, put the fish in barrel, stone.
Now I'm looking at it.
Yeah, cleaned it all out, got rid of the sand, cleaned it all out, as you can see there.
So you basically emptied the whole of the tank. So you put this bucket or vat where you put all of the livestock in, is that right?
I've got 2 big black plastic bins that would siphon the water out into.
Yeah.
There's the lower rock, keep it wet. And I don't know if you can see, we had a bit of a genius idea. Tom bought a bit of acrylic down, look.
That's it there.
That bit of tape, that bit of yellow tape, was a bit of a guide as to what we was working in, the space-wise, even though it wasn't full length. But it helped us massively, didn't it, really?
So basically, that's what you did. So you put the perspex there, you measured it out. That's your footprint of your tank, and then there's your rock.
Yeah, we didn't want to pass that yellow line because we wanted to make sure there was enough room from the rock to the front of the glass. Yeah. So if anything was to grow, that he's not.
If anything was to grow, that's wishful thinking, isn't it?
Yeah. If anything was to grow, he's not going to take it off with his algae scraper or whatever. Quite often stuff will grow very close. So yeah. But no, it was a very productive day, Ryland, wasn't it?
It was. I can't believe we've done what we've done.
Yeah, and it's still clearing up. To be fair, we haven't got any pictures, unfortunately, of how it is right now. But we'll send them on, and we'll probably touch on it next week. But yeah,
I'll just say I've got to thank him, even though it pains me to say it, because trying to do that on your own would have been 4 or 5 days, I reckon.
I mean, it would have been a full weekend. It's definitely easy if there's more of you, if there's 2 of you. Yeah.
Yeah, and also you got experience of doing that as well, haven't you, Tom? And I think it's easy when there's 2 of you because you can bounce off of one another. You're working together. So basically, strip the tank back, put the stuff in vats. It's no sand. Then put your rockscape in. Did you put the old water back in?
Yeah, not all of it.
Not all of it.
You got rid of 150 litres and put 150 fresh in. So it had a semi-water change as well. Bit of a reset, which it needed.
And I'll probably do another water change middle of next week. Yeah, just to be safe.
Left the sump alone, so there's plenty of biodiversity in the sump. Obviously, the live rock is had for years, so I wasn't worried too much there. But
only one bristleworm.
Only one bristleworm, yeah. Yeah, he had it for his dinner. Yeah.
So Ryland, you happy with it?
I'm over the moon with it, mate. Yeah, I'm over the moon with it. It's something that, listen, like everyone, your rockscape is something that can be tedious and take probably the longest part, but obviously it's going to be covered in coral at some point, hopefully. Do you know what I mean? And I think that
caves.
Don't start. What we've built with the Acropora, with the certain ledges and here and there, I think it will hopefully, fingers crossed, if I keep to a routine, no reason why my the Acropora won't grow. And if it does, I think the 2 islands we've created will look really, really, really lovely. Or not anything, something that I'm proud of. Do you know what I mean? And that's all that matters, really, at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a few rules. We just wanted to make sure nothing was touching any glass. It wasn't
you
touching
can
the
say
back
it now.
panel.
Go on.
What caves? Well, that's what I'm going to call him Bear Grylls because all he kept going on about was caves. Caves for his angelfish. I was like, well, I want caves. I want caves. I want caves. I was like,
at one point, I know for a fact, although you deny it, at one point I know you were absolutely fuming with me.
What's his body going about caves?
You had it, and then I went, mate, can you make that cave bigger? And as he did, the rocks just went like that. And I looked at your face and I thought, done him here.
Yeah. We got there anyway.
We got there in the end, mate.
That's the main thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Over the moon.
Over the moon with it. So, yeah, up there.
So the main purpose of that is for SPS then, is it, Ryland? So no sand.
Mate, like I said last time I was on it, it's just the angelfish, mate. They will munch their way through anything, most things. It's just throwing money down the drain. So I've had to either continue to chuck money down the drain or you go in another direction. And to be honest, mate, I love learning about this. So anything that makes me have to learn, I love it. As tedious, as boring, as frustrating, or if it makes me have to read or look, I love it. So Acropora's grabbed me by the carrot and onions and marched me up the garden path, which I'm all for, mate. Don't worry, I'm all for. Yeah.
Well, you've cranked the flow, haven't you? You knew you wanted more flow. You only had, what did you have on before?
I had 1 MP40, 2 MP40s, and a gyre thing, Jebel gyre thing.
Yeah.
And we've now got
2 MP40s,
2 gyres going front to back, and I've got another MP40 to add.
Yeah.
And it's like a washing machine in there, isn't it?
Which is what you need.
Lovely.
Yeah. Which you wouldn't have had if you've had the sand, because that was going everywhere, which is why you put the coral, crushed coral in, because it's denser, heavier, a better substrate for bacteria. Yeah. So, yeah. Win-win. Win-win.
If you get bored of them 2 torches because there's too much flow, mate, just bring them across to me.
No problem, Grunts. I've got that Duncan for you as well, don't forget.
Yeah. Well, you've got to get a tank up and running for that yet, mate.
I mean, I didn't want to say it, but just pull your finger out, son.
Yeah. You can always come round and help me. You're only down the road.
Arthritis, mate. Really.
But no, good day. Full day. Definitely a full day. 2-man job. 5-foot tank.
Live stream.
Yeah.
So, guys, in a minute, I'm going to go upstairs to a different room on a different computer because my reception is awful. And I think it's the wire I'm using. But I've got a different computer upstairs I'm going to log into. So I'm just setting it upstairs, and I'll go up to there.
Wouldn't it be funny if Paul clicks off and comes back and he's in the room with us here?
Better reception.
Come on, Paul, come on.
Oh dear.
Right, so just you talk amongst yourselves a couple of minutes, and then I'll be back.
We'll keep it clean.
We'll keep it clean, promise. I'll talk about you.
So how many pints deep are you both?
What's that, mate?
How many pints deep are you both?
I don't drink, so I'm on Coca-Cola.
Oh, fair enough.
Tom's been quite reserved. You've only had about 14 so far, haven't you? He's a good boy, isn't he? You're on your jollies, mate. 13, sorry. He's on his jollies, mate.
I'm shattered, honestly. Like I say, 5:05 I set off this morning from Rotherham.
And you got here at 7.
Most
7. Most people would think, would you? Helicopter? I don't know. He drove.
I just
in that
drove
time,
like
he
an
made
idiot.
it from Rotherham to Bishop Stortford.
Yeah, not proud of it. The roads were clear.
How long has this been in the pipeline then between you two? Was it like a...
Mate, me and him are terrible because he's quite impulsive and I'm quite impulsive. And I think it's only been, a week?
Yeah, we were a bit quiet at work, and so I was just like, come on, we'll still come down and help you do it.
And I'm always happy to have a day off. So
we know that. Yeah.
It worked. 3 days off this week.
You had a day off today as well, didn't you?
Yeah, lovely. Friday should be tank day. Like, I'll be happy. I'll be over the moon.
Yeah, it's like anything though. In your tank, if you're feeling it, and you're into it, and and you're gonna put more time and effort into it, and he wants to grow some sticks, and you weren't happy with the system as it was before, but you kind of needed a bit. I was
happy with the system, just not the scape. The sand, the scape. It was just he borrowed me his apogee par meter at Love to Reef. So when I met them all, I bombed it back home before I went back for the sleepover. Done me par thing, and it was like soul destroying, like pars of 130. And don't get me wrong, the shortcake was growing, that was growing, and I think it was only because I'd left it alone once I put it there. But the par was so naff, and I was just like, you know what? If you really, light, although light's not everything, it's still extremely important. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
Come here.
Here he is. He's in his game room. He's steering wheel. Gran Turismo.
He's kicked his son out of his bedroom.
I have. Right, with that one.
You're on the wrong stream, mate, aren't you?
Well, this should be a football stream, shouldn't it?
It should be. What horrible shirts are they in the background there?
So Sam works for Tottenham, as some of you know. These are all, he works for the ladies' team. These are all the shirts he's been given by all the players. Nice. Signed. So all the international shirts from, no, that's a Paqueta shirt, so that's a West Ham one. But it's all kinds of ones. So he goes around because a lot of them play for Tottenham and also internationals. So he gets the shirts. And some of them are ones from the World Cup and other where they've actually played in those shirts.
Happy days. Nice. Has he got a fish tank?
Yeah, he has. He's got a freshwater tank, 40 litres. Yeah, but if you went for a salt water, it'd just be a nightmare.
Thanks after Jill.
Well, Jill's got a freshwater. Yeah, she started off the whole habit with a freshwater 12 years ago.
How is she? Say hello, please, from me. Not that she'll want to.
She's out at the moment. She doesn't need picking up, so I haven't got to go early. So that makes a change.
But you're off. You were going to
I'm on my way, sir. I'm on my way.
Thank you.
Anyway, sorry. Back to it.
No, that's fine. What was you saying? I just got a message saying.
Well, we're all done. Over to Grumpy. Over to Gareth.
Yeah. He's much more interesting than us.
Yeah.
No, you've had an interesting day.
We have. Not every day I just randomly drive 155 miles to rescape a tank and come back.
The Rotherham Ayrton Centre.
And tomorrow you're going AAC, aren't you? First thing in the morning?
Tomorrow morning, mate, yeah. Fancy it.
Yeah. So I'll be, I think over at 10 o'clock. So They open at 10. I'll be there at 10 o'clock. So I've got to shoot off about
10:30 on a Saturday.
I thought it was 10 o'clock.
I'll double check that.
Because the Love to Reef was 10:30 start, and I'm sure the shop opens at 10 o'clock.
Right. Yeah, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
10 till 5.
Yeah. So I'll be there for 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
We'll have a look around, maybe get a coffee and a sandwich or something if we're hungry.
What's you in?
I went today, mate, unfortunately.
What, your sneaky little 5:15 number?
I had to go and get more paint and sandpaper because I ran out of paint yesterday.
I see branching out.
yeah.
Lots of
So, I stopped by AAC today. So yeah, unfortunately I won't be joining you.
Oh, grumpy.
Splashed out in a Reef can today, didn't I?
Oh, did you?
Hey Sam, look,
Oh yeah,
Grumpy's on.
there he is.
Hello, mate.
Right, there you go. Is that loud enough?
Yeah, I think so. That's it. Thank you. Right, so I'll meet you there tomorrow, boys. So Grumpy, over to you. What are you up to?
I had about 30-40 hours of stress last weekend. I broke my tank down to decorate and lay flooring. It took 5 hours between me and my mate to completely break my Max Nano down. And then I put all my corals, my fish, my clan, my inverts all in a holding tank. And within 30 hours, my gold torch was dying. White flesh had completely receded. A lot of skeleton on show. All the other corals, including a Duncan, which is pretty bomb-proof for LPS anyway, were just not opening properly at all. So I called him, spoke to him, and in an emergency, he came round Monday evening and took all my coral and left me with 2 clowns and a clam, basically. I spoke to Dricky about it at the weekend, and he kindly offered, because I found out he literally lives over the road from me. Yeah, he's got like a low nutrient tank, obviously, because he's now into acros. So it probably wouldn't have benefited my torches and everything else. So yeah, my mate has taken them. Sorry?
Well, I've still done it if it was an emergency and you had nothing else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no. It was good of you to offer, but yeah, no, I've given them to my mate. He's currently looking after them. They've really perked up. They perked up like by the next morning. There was no lights on. They were all fully open. He's been sending me video updates and pictures, and it looks like the gold torch might now pull through, which is good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got my new purchase today, which is a Reef can from AAC. I'm toying with getting the new Red Sea ATO as well. I had the DD one, but I think I'm gonna. So yeah, I'm just gonna get some new kit whilst I'm decorating, and then he's away from June 21st till July 21st, so I can't actually get my corals back until the first weekend of August. So I've got to rely on a doser and his mum to look after my corals as well as his, which is a little bit squeaky bum time. But yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. So he's ICP'd the other week and everything was perfect apart from iodine, which he's dosing anyway. So just up the dosing for that. But yeah, that's my story so far. I've just had a bit of a stressful weekend last weekend and been cracking on with decorating just to get this tank reset up basically and keep my missus happy.
So is that the same tank you're resetting up, the Max Nano?
Yeah, so after a lot of deliberation, a lot of YouTubing, asking questions at AAC, asking questions at Love to Reef, I bit the bullet because I kept umming and ahhing, and I thought, you're never going to make your mind up. So I went into AAC and I bought a Max Nano cabinet in black to match my new flooring. I'm selling my white one tomorrow. there's a bloke coming round to pick my white one up, and basically some of the reasons that I decided to stick with a Max Nano was I'm staying away quite a lot, like with my work. The other weekend I didn't go home for 3 days. I can't rely on my missus to keep topping up RO on like a big 170 or like a DD 600, because I looked at the one at Love to Reef, and then guttingly AAC put it up for sale last week or this week.
Yeah,
and I'd already bought the Max Nano cabinet. But then it would have been a stupid idea, because I'd have to rely on my missus to top up RO. I have to rely on her at the moment to feed the fish when I'm not coming home and stuff like that. So it just made sense. A smaller system, just I can fill up. Well, a Reef can, I reckon it will last me around 20, 21 days.
So how many litres in the Reef can?
I got the 18-litre one. I didn't get the bigger one just because of the size of it. I wanted to keep it small and compact. And again, I'm keeping the Max Nano. So, but obviously I'm doing a brand new scape. So the scape's going to be a lot more intricate. And it's going to be, I'd say, 99% torches. And then a couple of Duncans thrown in here and there. I've also gone, done a bit of research again, asked a few questions at AAC, and I've decided to go bare bottom this time. So I'm not having any sand, nothing. I'm just going to grow coralline all over the bottom, and then what I'm thinking about is, because I'll have so much sort of real estate on the glass, is I'm going to go for I'm going to try my hand at gonnies again. Hopefully this time I can grow some. So I'm going to go gonnies, acans, zoas, all over the glass at the bottom.
So nice bit of flow. Because I used to, in one of the tanks I had, the sand just blew away, and I put chalice there. So I had some chalice growing. So chalice are really good at growing on the base.
That's what I was going to do as well, is chalices. The DD 1200, is it 1200 at AAC?
Yeah.
They've got chalices growing all over the bottom of theirs, and then up onto the Rockscape. It looks really nice. So so I'm going bare bottom. Weirdly enough, my holding tank at the moment, that's now got just 2 clowns, a clam and inverts in, the amount of tapping you can hear coming from my kitchen, I think the tank's popping. I go running in there, and it's my conch just walking around. So that's something I'm really going to have to get used to. I rehomed a couple of fish, and one of them was a sand sifting goby. So I gave that to my mate who helped me break down my tank, along with Orchid Dotty back and a 6-line, which I'm surprised he took, but he said it would be fine in his tank. It wasn't in mine. So I'm going a lot more sort of peaceful fish this time round as well. I'm looking to up my game. I dose by hand all the time. I don't have a doser, so I'm going to get a Red Sea doser.
So what you're going to get, is that a one head dose and do something?
No, I'm going to get the 4, because I'm going to go for the Reef Complete. Is it the Reef Complete?
What the Red Sea system that comes off of you measure it off of calcium, don't you? And then it tells you for every 10 milliliters of calcium, you do X of alkalinity, same for magnesium, and then you got your minor trace elements as well. So you get the full range, isn't it? I think that's how it works.
Yeah. So you have to test calcium. So I found this out by talking to Stuart at the Red Sea stand at Love to Reef.
Yeah.
And you have to test calcium once a week, and what your calcium reading is, you put that into your Reef Beat app, and it tells your dosers what to dose.
Really? What are the others?
So you don't have to work anything out. And the 4 bottles, basically you buy the package, and the 4 bottles, they all run out at the same time.
Yeah.
So you then just buy the package each time. You're not buying like a bottle of alkalinity more than you're buying like magnesium and stuff like that. So I've been reefing for 3 years now, and I've learnt a lot from the tank that I've broken down, a lot of mistakes. And yeah, I'm just going to put that and sort of up my game. I'm a bit of a torch tart. I just love my torches. And people think I'm crazy for just getting high-end torches, but it's what I love. And
Each their own.
That's what you like.
My missus wouldn't like an acro tank. Like, no offense to Drippy, I love acro tanks. Like, I'm good friends with Josh A's Reef. I love his tank, but when you share a house with a missus and she has to look at it the same amount of time as you do, and she's like, they don't move, I don't like them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right, we'll come back in a minute because
white, and then you have to take them out.
Mine do.
Acros, they don't move. They go white, and you have to take them out.
Yeah.
Right, I'm just going to hold you there because someone's reminded me, because I was in a bit of a pickle at the top. I didn't do the hello, so it might be half hour, 26 minutes late, but I'm going to say hello to everyone, and then we'll come back, Gareth, back to your tank and a few other bits and pieces. So
Yeah.
Apologies to everyone. So a good evening, a very late good evening, as I say, 26 minutes late. Hiya, John. Good evening to you. Gazza's Reef in his water box, the 220 gallon, if I remember rightly. Techers, good evening to you. UKM 120, hope you're well. Stuart, I'm liking the logo. I don't think I've seen that logo before, Stuart. Could be wrong. It's original.
No.
Tree Trop, good evening to you. And One Arm Reefer, hi Lee, hope you're well. Pelagic Swimmer, loving that gem tang now, I think that is. Good evening to you. Higher Skids,
Love that
hope you're well. Reef 216, higher. We've got Alan Ofen, good evening to you. And Dave Ema, higher, hope you're well. Critical Reefer, loving that photo as always. Tank's doing well, doing okay. Hiya Haley.
Evening.
Jupiter's Reef, good evening to you. I always like that Rockscape, nice one. Marek off the P, good evening to you. And Triggerfish 45. Now, that's definitely a new logo. Can't remember seeing that one before. But welcome. Who else we've got? Just going down quite a bit of chat. Hiya Liam, how you doing? And the Sharks good?
How you doing, boy?
And good evening to JB. Alan, I'll come back to that about holidays and ATOs in a little bit. So I'll bookmark that and see that in a bit. We've got Darren Hire. Good evening to you.
Thanks for that, mate. I don't know which I'm on the right.
Dear. Reflection Auto Paint Correction Sal, good evening to you. Hi Alex, hope you're doing well.
Big Al.
I think I've said hello to everybody. Yeah, I got that right. 220. Sorry, Drippy?
I haven't missed anyone being this late.
No. There was a couple of comments. Let me go back to a couple of the comments from earlier on. I miss Jarek. Hi, Jarek. How you well? Are you back in the UK now? Because I think last week you was you was in the Red Sea, weren't you? I can't remember if that was last week or the week before. What else have we got? What's it? Tom ROD has set up ordered CWP. Thanks for the heads up.
Nice one.
Do you know what? While you're doing that, Tom, Paul.
Yeah.
You know the guy who said hello and he's laying in his water box?
Yeah.
Wonder if anyone with a water box tank at the moment has got a bit of a squeaky bum on with the fact that they're removing their sales from the UK or their shops from the UK.
All their tanks were up for sale for 50% cheaper the other day, weren't they?
I saw some posts on that because if I go back quite a while ago when Ross used to be on the stream, he got a water box tank. And the time he got his one, they stopped selling them at LFS on most of the LFS. And I think they was then going direct. But it now looks like they're now pulling out altogether. Is that what you're seeing?
I was thinking they're moving to Europe, whether they're Poland or Germany or somewhere like that. I might have got that wrong.
Yeah, they're moving to Europe. I read that as well.
But if something goes wrong and you've got a water box tank, you'd be I don't know. Well, it's not going to fill you with a lot of confidence, is it?
I suppose it depends. Do they still keep a contact centre or somewhere for the UK to phone or not?
If you need anything shipped for a start and they've not got nothing left in the UK, it's going to take longer for a start.
That probably risk was there already, but I know what you mean, because Waterbox and Red Sea both make all their stuff in China. So if they haven't got, so say for instance something happened to your weir and they said, right, we'll get you a new tank. If they haven't got just a tank in the UK, your stuff, because you're going to have to wait 28 days for it to come over. Whereas something like DD, their tanks are made over in Essex, and so therefore either you could take your tank there to get it repaired, or hopefully they could produce a new one for you. And obviously not going to take you 4 weeks to get it across the shore. But I know what you mean. I wouldn't be happy personally not having support in the UK.
Maybe someone with a water box has checked that out already, because
let's see what it's
it wouldn't fill me with a lorry load of confidence.
This is 2 years old, but worrying.
Yeah, Gazza's Reef, that's it.
Yeah, that is a bit, isn't it? Because I mean, a number of times that tank fails is not very often, is it? But you want that peace of mind, don't you? More than anything else. Do they sell anything else other than tanks, Waterbox?
No, I don't think
I'm aware of.
No, I'm not.
I've never really been into it, so I've never really looked.
Not really a brand I've come into contact with either, to be fair.
No.
Not up north, anywhere near me.
They went through a phase, didn't they? They got introduced to the UK. They was in some of the shops, but I think some of the shops weren't overly happy because you could go direct to them as well. So you could go direct to them or go for an LFS.
Right.
And they seemed to have a spike in loads of people getting them, blah, blah, blah. And then it just seemed to die off, didn't it? And you don't see that many people in the UK.
I'm sure it was being pushed from the States because they had like a little bit of a TV channel, a YouTube channel.
That's
so right. Pushing it a few years ago.
Yeah. Because Ross won $1,000, I think it was $1,000 voucher, and that's how or $500, something like that. Yeah. And that's how he got his water box tank, because he used that voucher to get it. And then he had problems with the glass, and then they replaced, and it took ages. To your point, he never actually said at the time that he had problems with the glass. When you looked at it, it looked warped. He got it replaced. It took a while for it to be replaced. And I think that's because they didn't have any of the boxes in the UK at the time.
See, that falls into why I said what I said about if they're not stocking in the UK and something like that happens, and not just them, anyone, like it can happen on any tank, obviously.
Yeah.
But bloody hell, like it's that would worry me at least. I know that because anything can go wrong at any point.
John's all right. He's got the best shirt ever. He'll be fine with his tank.
No, John Edmonds.
And then someone said that salt on their site was on sale too. So I'm not sure. That's right. I saw the salt was 50%.
Good old Daz. I did salt.
I wonder if Daz has got them lights up and running yet. That'd be interesting to see.
Oh, I'm sure he'll let us know.
Yeah, let us know, Daz.
Right. Let's go back to see. There you go. Drippy, what LPS are you parting with?
Everybody's on scrounge.
Yeah, but I don't mind that. I'm happy to give it away, mate. What else am I giving away? I gave away a couple of things that love to reef. You're taking a Blasto that just...
I'm taking a Blasto. It's a classic.
You're taking a Duncan. Grumpy's having a Duncan. I've got...
You've got to love the Kenya tree you can have.
Well... That Kenya tree, actually, I planted that in the garden earlier.
Oh, yeah, you did.
I'll check on that.
I'm going to grow apples.
Yeah. I'll have a swing on that by tomorrow. I don't know. Not a lot, mate. There ain't a lot.
A few hours you pulled off, isn't there? Have you been them?
No, they needed scraps. I don't remember seeing them when we've done a escape. Oh, you know what's happened? They've gone back in. And then they've gone back in, and we ain't. Anyway, we don't want to
move on.
So was it a schoolboy error?
Oh, there's been a couple of them today. Don't worry about that, mate. I'm waiting for him to pipe up with something that he absolutely
Oh, I can't.
Go
say this.
on, do it.
So we're taking all the I've got to share this because I was just so confused. So we're taking all the frags off his skate. Bearing in mind, they've been in there for weeks, months, whatever. So I said to him, get a flathead screwdriver or a knife, to prise them off.
Yeah.
You can pop the frag plugs off the skate.
Yeah.
She's like, no, you don't need to do that. So put my hand in, got this frag plug that I was expecting to be really glued on. It just came off. So I was thinking, I looked at the putty underneath it, and it's just really, really soft. The milli put, really, really soft. So I thought, all right, dodgy batch.
Has he not mixed it?
No, hang on. Did it again. Pulled it off. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? So I put literally,
that was a dodgy
there were
batch.
about 15 frags, SPS frags, dotted all around, and I'm literally just pulling them off. Just literally as easy as that.
Helped us with time though, didn't it?
Oh yeah, planned then, was it?
Yeah.
Literally pulling them off one at a time. Took the rock out, and I'm like, why is all this milli put so soft? He was like, oh, I don't know. I was like, well, I said you should go and say something next time you go to AAC or whatever. So anyway, we're putting everything back together, the rock and everything. I'm like, right, mix some milli put, and he's like, literally went, there you go. I went, he was like, well, I said in it. I was like, no. What? Well, you've got to mix. You're any marbling through it.
Never knew that. I have no problem. I said to him, say it. I've got no one had ever, I've never seen nothing where they said get green and purple and rub it together until you see no marbling. I never knew that.
I thought that was a given. I mean, I don't know if I've been told or not.
There you go.
Mate, listen, that had more marbling, right, than a ribeye steak, didn't it? See, do you know the winning is I've learned something.
Yeah, how to mix milliput.
2.5 years ago, I've learned something.
Wow. Anyway.
Well, I'm sorry, Drippy, because we should have discussed this on the live stream before, but we hadn't covered that about how to mix milliput.
I think people have got a general gist that I'm a bit of an idiot anyway, so they're probably not surprised in the slightest.
I would hate to say that.
Well, you basically just have, so thanks for that. Grumpy's staying quiet. Good old Grump.
I think he's lost for words.
He's talking later. That's what that is.
Oh dear. Right.
Anyway,
let's just go back to some of the comments.
Feel better now, do you?
Caves and milliput. That's all I remember from today.
What's his Liam said? Don't get me started about washing machine type flow.
Oh dear. That's our subject.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, Liam.
More like a phone party.
It's a different stream.
Yeah.
I did first acro last week and noticed a hitchhiker crab in there yesterday after I nearly got rid. I googled and realised they are acro crabs. Anyone else have acro crabs?
Never had one, but they're cool.
Loads of times. Yeah.
So do they usually come in on the frags that you get? I'm assuming.
Yeah, from imports. Yeah. The only thing is that the general rule of thumb from my experience is just if there's all jokes aside, hairs on the legs, hairy legs out, smooth legs can stay. But I have seen some that are that small that you think are smooth legged, and the friendly ones that end up turning out to be nasty ones, i.e. gorilla.
Can you imagine what the geezer in the next room? He's probably thinking, aren't you?
Yeah. No. If you dip, the thing is though, if you dip in them, you're going to kill them, good or bad, majority of the time, especially with potassium chloride.
Yeah. So I think that's his first acro. Excellent.
Yeah.
What's that? Tottenham. How dare you, Paul? Well, it's not me. It's Sam. DD Ace Doser is ace 2. I got 2 of them there. Never missed a beat. Yeah. Thanks for the reminder, John. That made me go back to the top. So thank you.
Let him have it, John. Let him have it.
Thinks his house has got that shirt on. He's sat there. He's skeggy.
Wonder if John wears that shirt when the live stream is on.
He does. Sat there like that.
He does. He dresses up for the occasion, doesn't he?
Yeah. He's got his hair slicked, green.
His sprinkler look going off, a bit of brew, Old Spice.
Yeah. Another comment: I've never seen a water box fail. That's why I swung me from the 110 to 220. Fair point.
Yeah, I know people got water boxes and they love them.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, there we go. 5 seconds in the microwave. Brilliant, soft as jelly.
Don't need it. I know how to do it properly now, Al.
So is that the DD Aquascape putty you use?
Yeah.
So what I also do on that is I put it into the 2 balls.
Yeah.
I then leave it for about half an hour so it's not too soft. Then I mix it up, because if you mix it up and use it, if you mix it up properly, it's still very soft.
Yeah.
So you need to. I usually let it set. So actually, I mix it first, and then I let it set for about 30 minutes, and then I use it.
I wanted it softer earlier for the simple fact that the rockscape was a bit precarious, and I wanted it to go in like gel almost into some of the crevices. So yeah, I did that on purpose, in all fairness. But I did think he'd been using Play-Doh at one point.
So I was saying to the Yorkshire Reefer, because I was talking to him and I picked up some of that Nios putty that he gave me. I haven't used it. I use the DD one, and I always had issues with sticking corals when I was like a proper beginner, sticking corals to rocks with a putty, and I just thought it was like useless. And then I watched Zala's Tank Boys on YouTube, and they actually taught me a brilliant way of using putty, and it's like foolproof. It sticks straight away. You don't have to worry about like you pull waiting half an hour, nothing like that. If you get the ball, however much you need, and on the bottom of the frag you put super glue, ball of putty, super glue, stick it to a rock, will not move straight away.
So I do that anyway. So I do the super glue on both sides, but I let it set as
I've done it on the underneath of a frag. I'll roll a little ball, it's smaller than a Malteser, put it on the frag plug, and then I'll get something like a toothpick or something and cause a little bit of a well in the middle of it, and then a couple of spots of super glue into the well, like a volcano upside down. You stick it down as the putty goes down, the super glue kicks in. So similar to what you're saying, Gareth, to be fair. But
But talking about like upping my game when I reset this tank up and stuff like that, I bought 10 aqua print screw-in plugs. I got the shallow base. I didn't want the elongated one. I bought a shallow base, and you can just stick or putty that to your skate where you want it. And then because it's all LPS, I haven't got to worry about like what Drippy wouldn't be able to use them, because eventually all his acros would go over it and you'd never be able to untwist them.
Yeah, anyway.
Well, if they grow, But with the LPS that I'm planning to do, I just thought it was such an easy thing to. I also bought the frag rack, and they screw into the frag rack.
Yeah.
So I kind of months ago you had Josho on, didn't you?
Yeah.
And he's done like a similar thing, hasn't he? Where he's put like little sticks in to hold his acros and stuff like that, so he can move them about. So it kind of gave me the idea, and then when I had them in front of me at Love to Reef, I just thought that they were like great for LPS, because it means I haven't got to worry about keep snapping frag plugs off here and there to then frag my torches to then stick them back on. I can just put them back in the same place it come from.
I've used the Aquaprint one. They're pretty good. They're nice and easy to use, and you haven't got to worry about the stickiness and all that, because you've got the little tube, haven't you, or the little bit of plastic pipe or whatever you want to call it. It's 3D, isn't it? And you put that on, and it works a treat. I've done it once or twice on where I've wanted a coal to protrude a little bit as well. And it works quite well. I've done it on a chalice.
Yeah, he was saying as well that you can hide the whole base by putting putty all around it and then working it in a little bit.
Yeah.
So you haven't got that bottom of the plug on show. So I'll see how they go when I've set them up, but I'm looking forward to using them.
I don't know it. I do. It's Matt, isn't it? Treef Trop, who's in tonight. He's done it recently. If you follow him on Insta, he's done it with the Aquaprint ones that you're talking about, Gareth. He posted something the other day. He's just literally been doing it recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks good. To be fair, I like good concept.
Yeah, absolutely. Just got to have a couple of comments here. DD Putty clear package is not resealable. Anyone find this? I haven't noticed, but I'm still using some old packets, so don't know. I was using Gorilla Gel, but honestly, it's pants. I switched to Elements glue, and so far, so good. So what glue do you guys usually use?
I found it's for me, it was thicker than the others, and I prefer that way personally.
So what one do you repeat?
Ecotech.
Oh yeah, I've been using that since day one. Do you keep it in the fridge?
No.
No. So mine last about 9 to 12 months, and once it's open, keep it in the fridge.
Oh, there you go. Blimey, that's two things I've learned today.
Yeah.
I'm lying.
I use the little it's polyblab, but they do it in a big 25 tubes in a cylindrical sort of container, simply because you just tend to get it everywhere. You throw it away and open a new one next time around. It's just much cleaner. Yeah. I mean, I've used the Ecotech one before. I mean, when I used the Ecotech one, I don't really remember. You remember the wooden cases that used to come in?
I've still got one of those cases. That's absolutely superb. I bought it from Charterhouse Aquatics about 9 years ago. I must admit, it's like a little bit damaged now, but superb.
Yeah. Yeah, with the really strange sort of hexagonal frag plugs that they used to give you.
They were rubbish, but you got some really nice bone clippers in there and some scissors and some tweezers. It was really nice, but they stopped doing it because they didn't sell them. But I thought it was a really nice case, and the wooden box was quite good for fragging stuff on. So I still use the wooden box to frag stuff.
Yeah.
Are they the tools that you done that fragging of a chalice live on the stream?
Yeah. So there was a brown box that I used.
I remember that,
that was the actual box.
Yeah.
So those who don't know, I did a live stream one Saturday night, and I fragged a couple of chalice, and I fragged for the first time a rainbow chalice as well. I was absolutely cacking it, and I only fragged it because I was live. I would have bottled it, and it's still alive.
Imagine the greatest video ever will be Jay trying to frag his chalice.
I wouldn't do it. There's no way you'd get him to do it. He won't do a torch, let alone a rainbow chalice.
He fragged his thumb with that Dremel that time when he videoed him doing that torch. Maybe it just looked close on what it was, but I thought, blimey, he's going to frag his thumb in a minute.
Most of the time, chalice are easy because they're quite thin. You can use a pair of scissors. So when they're thin, I just use scissors on them, cut them into squares, and it's so easy to do.
Do you know what, though? That avatar that you gave me, that proper thick skeleton underneath it.
Yeah.
Proper thick.
Yeah. So I've got a piece that is about a foot in diameter. I need to get it's in a 3-foot tank, so it's far too big. So I'm taking it round to a pelagic swimmer for him to have in his tank. He's got a 13-foot tank. So and I'm gonna frag a little bit, and then I'm gonna give him to him.
So to some chalice, the skeleton is different.
It depends. That one's was yes, they are. So some of them will go really, really thin that you can just cut with scissors really easy. Yeah. Others will tend to grow up a little bit more out, so they're harder to frag. I've got one that I've put on a frag plug, and I've actually stood the frag plug like that, and it's grown out and around, so it actually looks like a mushroom.
Nice. Yeah.
So you got it's weird because they just go different shapes, and others will just curl up like that. So I've got a watermelon one, and I think sometimes it's down to the flow and when you position it, and others will encrust. So I think it depends on where you position it, the lighting and stuff like that.
Out of nowhere, that watermelon chalice seems to have almost thrust itself onto Instagram or social media, and I think that looks stunning.
How nice.
That is a really nice coral.
Yeah. Yeah. So Gareth, you thinking of getting some chalice in the tank?
Yeah, to do over the glass at the bottom, like I was saying. The only thing I'm gonna plan it more this time round is because obviously chalices are quite aggressive, aren't they? So my ideas of putting like A cans and stuff, it's not really gonna work because they could end up killing. But yeah, no, I'm I'm well up for the idea of, and I got the idea from AAC. Like I said, I really love that tank, like just the chalices. But I was talking to Dan about like what you were just saying about fragging them, and he was saying that they're quite thick, like Rylan was just saying. But some of their chalices have started growing up the front glass, which is obviously quite undesirable.
Yeah.
And he said that it's not a pretty job, and you literally just have to go in there with bone cutters, and a lot of them will brown jelly out and just die because of the stress of it. But he said it's just the price you have to pay when you're sort of growing them on the bare bottom. But yeah, no, it's definitely something I'm looking at. I'm looking at a rainbow chalice as well. So.
Well, I tell you what, you'll take you years to grow that out over the glass. I mean, what you could do, you could buy the little frag plates and then grow them on that, and that could sit on the base. So it's not as maybe as pretty, but it's more controllable. Because if once it starts growing on the glass on the bottom, it's really, because I had the one that moved, and I couldn't get rid of it. I couldn't frag it or do anything, because when it's encrusting on the glass like that, unless it curls up, you can't frag it.
No,
so
he was saying
it might be
that
easy to do it on a plate.
He was saying that at AAC sometimes they have to literally just get like a thin blade, I'm guessing like a Stanley or something, and go under and just keep chipping away at it, and that's why he said it's not a pretty thing to sort of do. But yeah, it's just an idea I'm toying with, but I'm 100% what I want on my scape. It's just now I'm deciding what I want to grow over the bare glass at the bottom, basically.
Because what I've done with my Raja Rampage, it's off of the sand bed by about 1 centimetre.
Yeah.
And it's actually now growing across. So it's not actually touching the base. So you could do that. You could position it by, say, just get a little tile, maybe cut a couple inches, grow it on that, and then let it just grow across.
Yeah.
Because that way you can control it, you can take it out, you can frag it, and you haven't then got to worry about it growing onto the glass either.
Yeah.
Just a thought. Okay, let's go and do some more comments. So it's been summer windows and doors all open. pH has gone from a range of 8.25 to 8.43 with a high of 8.57. How high is too high? Tom, you're our pH man.
I'm not an expert, but I've been told over 8.6 is not ideal. 8.6 max. The magic number is 8.23. Apparently, that's when magic things start to happen.
Oh, really? When it starts to kick in?
Yeah. Where you see, when 8.23. I wouldn't advise to go any higher than 8.6. I mean, I have gone to 8.65, but only for short periods of time. I'm not seeing any detrimental effects, but 8.5 is my threshold. 8.57 is knocking on the door a bit too high for me. But again.
So what if it goes above 8.6? What could happen? What's a detriment to the tank? Do you know? Because I don't.
Well, you've got it's your acid and alkaline band in it, so your water's going to become too alkaline. Which again, don't quote me, but from what I have read, it's not good.
Fair enough. Hopefully that answers the question. Some other comments. Ecotech is great, but so expensive. So
straight away, but it will have a detrimental effect. It's not the spike; it's how long it's exposed to that level.
Okay. Yeah. So the more exposure it gets, the more likely it is to damage corals and stuff, which makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I do calc all day, steady drip about 1.9 litres a day with a CO2 scrub on the skimmer.
I've just got myself a CO2 scrubber.
Yeah?
Just got it. First one comes smashed up. Second one looks, I don't even know looks. Didn't get out of the box today, didn't we? Smashed up as well.
So mine's worked pretty well. So my pH has gone up by about 0.2 as a result of that, which doesn't sound that high.
Fair amount, isn't it?
But it's pretty good. So so that's in the garage. So it's just circulating. It's getting the air in from the garage, putting it through the CO2 scrubber. So the pH is pretty crappy now. Then going into the skimmer, obviously. Yeah. And it's made a big difference to the level of the pH.
If I get also that, I'll be well happy.
Yeah.
Well happy.
Right, let's see what else we got before we move on to holidays. What we got here? Rate as elements glue, especially for fragging, but mounting frags can't beat putty. Everything is looking great. It's Harron's Reef, so that's good. Best glue I've used is the BRS stuff, £30 shipped.
I never used that.
Where does a thin super glue? I want to do the Reef cement glue on the scape. Okay.
Is that the Nios one?
You
I've just
got
bought that.
the Nios cement.
Yeah, I just bought that for my new escape.
Don't use it in water. So go on, Tom.
I was scared it gets really hot. That
Does it?
Like
It
I've got the
goes off.
latex gloves.
It goes off in a minute. It goes off so quickly.
it does.
Yeah.
I had to mix it really, really wet.
Yeah, you
and
do.
then it still goes off. So if you mix it really, really wet, use it really, really quick. So go on, Tom.
No, I was just going to say you could put. I'd definitely second time round. I'd use some gloves, and all jokes aside, I'd try and use it as putty and try and get it and just keep adding water to it, because otherwise it'll either be too dry, you'll not be able to do much with it, or it'll be too thin and it'll just cover your rockscape and look a mess. Just from experience, just from again.
I might get Drippy to come round and mix some up for me. Apparently on the label it says that if you put citric acid in it, it lasts a bit longer. It doesn't go off in 2 minutes.
You know that.
I do like it because I think it's pretty. If you know what you got to do, I think you can't. For me, you can't beat it. You just got to realize that you're on a timer. Yeah. And as soon as you mix it, because the good thing is it does go off really quick, so you can do a lot of aquascaping really quickly because it will go off cement really, really quickly. So there's pros and cons.
That's got me catching my toe and dropping it on the carpet.
You just took words out of my mouth. I was just about to say, I think you've got to sort of like measure what you're trying to achieve with it, and it depends on the application. I think there's no way I would do that and then lift it over a tank in all faithful that it's going to hold and not drop on my breast bar or whatever.
Or on the carpet.
Yeah.
Or the sort of thing you can do underwater either.
Well, I can't.
Which you can't. So, you know.
Underwater, it's a nightmare. I've tried it. And I just gave up after one attempt.
Yeah,
the whole water went cloudy, nothing stuck. So I've used it a couple of times. I used it on the floating aquascape, and that was small pieces I was doing, so that wasn't lifting stuff in, and I was letting it set, and I was, taking my time with it.
I did it but I did it in pairs. So I had like pairs of rocks that were like cemented together, and then put like the group of rocks together rather than trying to create one big aquascape, and that worked. But I'd never try and do one. Well, depends on the tank. You might get away with it, Gareth, with a nano, to be fair.
Yeah, I was planning on doing the whole scape and then just lifting it in. That's what I did
When you need us,
Sorry?
Just give us a call when you need us, mate.
Yeah, all right. Cheers, mate. I might pre-mix it though. Yeah. Just help me lift it in.
I'll just throw a ball up in the air and it'll probably land.
Oh dear. Let's see what else we got. Cheap Dremels are good tools for fragging and removing old putty. Yeah.
Don't need them.
Not with your putty. It's like pastry.
Oh no, look. The rapist. Well. Sorry. Right, sorry, Tim. Tim is not one of them, sorry, that's it.
Do you know what? Do you want to engage?
Sorry, Tim.
You need to explain why you've just said that.
It's like I'm sleeping or sleeping. No, I'm not going to explain. I'm going to let people use their imagination.
Start Googling him.
Sadly, we opened the lid and it had stripped.
Yeah.
So when I next come up and see Tom, I will pay you for a new frag. But gutted about that. But Tim is such a gentleman. He dropped it round to Tom, a whopping great frag, which was more like a mini colony. And as we got to the end of the day, it was floated and everything, and opened the thing, and it was, mate, sadly, it stunk, didn't it?
Yeah.
Proper kicking up. Yeah. So sorry, Tim, but I really appreciate that, mate. So thank you. He's a top geezer, he is.
Squeaky Bum at around 8.6.
Yeah.
Laura, hi Laura, hope you're well.
Evening.
pH of 8.2, 8.4 is ideal. Too high pH can imbalance the system. I'll be taking the scrubber off for the summer then to get it back down to 8.25 to 8.35. Gorilla Glue has to be gel though. And I'm adding an AI blade tomorrow, so more light could lead to another boost in pH.
I see it changed them, haven't they? But is that in their farm, Paul?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so he used to have the T5 hybrid.
Yeah.
And obviously they've gone to the blades now. So every so often, what he tends to do, I've seen, is he swaps the lights over to ones that he sells, because then he can get used to what the lights are like. And then when people come in, he can then say, yeah, use the blades. This is a scenario you can use and blah, blah, blah. So it's really good because, as you know, as you go around the shop, they've got all different kind of lights. That's how I knew about Tom, the Philips Coral Care, because Paul had those years ago in the farm. I don't know if he's still using it, but that's how I kind of know about that particular light.
If Tom had the choice, you would change to another light. What was the light you said to me about it?
No, I didn't say I would change. I said it was something I was looking at the time, but it wasn't available in the UK. No, I didn't lie.
Oh, so you're a liar.
Right, once you've had your domestic, what light was it?
It was the ATI Stratton.
Yes, you don't see many people that have got it, but a lot of people rave about it, and they seem to be bigger in kind of Central Europe on the ATI. I don't seem to see that much in this country.
Yeah, in America, yeah.
Yeah.
At the time I got the coral cares, you couldn't get them, but I went with the coral cares. They were the closest LED at the time to a T5, which is obviously what I originally built my tank around, but I couldn't have the T5 because of the temperature, because of the power. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me of that.
I mentioned it.
Right, okay. Liam, what's going on? Darren, we've done my scape in Reef cement, and it's fantastic. Quite happily shake my scape upside down. And Tom said, use it as patty. I had my amazing wife mix it.
What a good missus.
She's probably quite a lot. His wife.
She's a good missus, mate. She is, yeah.
Absolutely.
T-shirts.
And she does, mate. Salty swagger.
Yes, they're good, aren't they?
Actually gets 10% off, wouldn't it, Tom? 20.
Yeah. And Darren said the technique I saw was dry cement powder, then apply thin glue to set it. Reef dudes recently did it. Oh, okay. Makes sense. Gorilla Glue. DD putty is brilliant out of the tank, can be tricky inside the tank. Yeah. I think that is it. We're up to date with the comments. So Gareth, coming back to you in your tank. So Reef, so with the actual Aquascape, have you decided what you're gonna go with? Have you seen anything online that you think, I love that?
Yeah, I have. I can't remember his name, and I can't get it up on my phone because I'm using my phone for this stream. But he's an Australian bloke that has a nano, a 125 nano that he custom made the sump. So it's a Cade.
Yeah.
But instead of having the sump underneath, he had a sump company come in and put it elsewhere in his office because he can't have a certain amount of weight in one space because it would literally fall through the building into his neighbour, the woman underneath his middle of her bedroom.
Yeah.
You'll be able to search it on Parker's Reef, but he's done an amazing scape. And the moment I saw it, I was like, that looked amazing, full of torches. The one you showed me? No, so he's from Europe, but the man that I'm basing my torch tank on, he's called Densos Reef, I believe. He's on Instagram. And he's got 100% torch tank, and it just looks amazing. I showed Drippy it at Love to Reef.
So what kind of shape is it?
Is
it branching or
no? So it's got a dead straight base. So I think I got it from AAC. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I've got to buy that piece. It just looks amazing. So it was a dead straight at the bottom.
Yeah.
It's about I'd probably say from the top of my fingers to about there on my forearm. And what I'm going to do is I'm having it diagonally across the tank, so I don't just look at my tank from the front. I look at it a lot from my sofa.
Yeah.
And then, so basically, if that's the bottom there, I've got a rock coming up here at that angle, and then I'm going to build it up and round. It's quite hard to describe. I wish I sent a picture before live stream, but I will send it to you, Paul.
Okay, cool.
Maybe you can show it another time or whatever, or I can come back on when my tank's back up and running.
That'd be good.
But yeah, no, I've really spent a lot of time sort of trying to get not a copy of his, because you can never copy anyone's scape because all rocks are completely different, but I'm trying to get it nearest to that as possible, because when I saw that scape on YouTube, it just blew me away, and I just thought that'd look amazing, like full of torches. So yeah, that's the one I've gone with, but unfortunately I can't remember his name. But if you go on Parker's Reef YouTube and look for a nano tank, you'll soon see what I'm on about.
But to be fair, most of us take inspiration when we're doing our rockscape from what we see online. I mean,
Yes.
I've got the floating aquascape that's now over 4 years old, and that was all based on a guy in Switzerland who had the nano tank as a floating aquascape, and it had all scollies and everything else. And that was one of the first ones I saw, and he didn't keep it for that long. He's gone through loads of different scapes since then, and I saw that, and that's what inspired me to do the floating aquascape.
Yeah.
And you don't see you see quite a few of them set up, but you don't see many floating aquascapes that survive long.
Yeah.
There's hardly any I've seen online that are more than 12, 18 months old.
Yeah. But I'm quite into like aquascaping anyway, because before I dipped my toe in marine, I always had like fresh water. So I had like Malawi, so aquascapes, all of that.
Yeah.
I've had planted tanks and I've aquascapes, all of that. And so it's just something like I'm really into. So I'm just sort of taking this a lot slower and trying to be a little bit more meticulous with the scape and not just throw things in because it looks good. I want to actually think about it and how it looks from different angles.
Yeah. I think it's how it looks probably isn't so much important, but having enough shelves and how can you put the corals at different levels so that they're not all in one another, and they're not especially if you've got chalices and other things, because you can easily have it at different steps and they're never going to be able to touch one another. They're never going to be able to sting one another. I think that's what I've learned, rather than having, very few that are kind of that angle, but having them in steps makes such a big difference, because then they can grow out, especially if you've got torches, you won't actually see the aquascape. And that's the key, isn't it? If you can see something that, the aquascape can be completely ugly. I mean, I had a piece of mine where the floating aquascape, where there was a bit of branching that came out, and it was a different color to the rest of it. And I got some comments saying that is absolute crap. We can't see it now because I've got a piece of green plating Monty on it. So I think, I didn't care what the people said about it, because I knew what I was putting on it. And the whole point there was to rest plating Monty on it. And now you wouldn't even know it was there. Yeah. So if you can imagine and you can picture what it is, it doesn't actually matter what it looks like, because it's just a matter of how you can then place things.
Yeah. I think there's a lesson there. Please yourself with your tank, not anyone else.
I mean, the flack I took over the floating aquascape is, I think I still got about 30% of the likes or dislikes are thumbs down. The number of comments I had saying that you shouldn't have done that, it's bad advice, blah, blah.
Were you bothered?
No.
Exactly.
Because they was talking crap, because they were saying you can't put acrylic onto glass, which you can't. Not with silicon, but it wasn't glass. The weir was plastic.
Yeah.
Even though I said it. Just you got to do what you're happy with. Some advice, definitely take it well, but others you just ignore.
If you go to the expense of getting a tank and everything else needed to do a tank, and you set it up to please other people, ultimately you're going to be the one left disappointed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to do it for yourself.
Absolutely. It's good to take advice from people that you trust and listen to those people, but there's others who are just complete idiots.
Yeah, and also, obviously, the animals you're going to keep.
Yeah.
Hence why caves.
Good point. Can't have enough caves.
Caves.
Honestly.
As long as he doesn't cave in. But yeah, that's fine.
Happened a few times, don't worry.
It did. It did.
Right, what else have I got here? I used the Nios before. I got the Aquaforest. Now, there you go. I treat myself to something Reef tomorrow for my birthday. No drippy, not another copper band.
Go on, John. Get it.
Happy 50th, John.
Yeah, happy pre-birthday, John.
Birthday, John boy.
Oh, look at this. Look, guys, I'm watching live from my P&O cruise.
Dedication.
Absolutely. And then what ship are you on? I'm on the Ventura next month. Gazza, you got to watch whilst you're on your ship. I'm on the Ventura now.
Okay, look.
There we go. Been on her 4 times. Right. Okay. Let's see if I've got anything else on here. Seeing any dolphins.
Don't.
There you go. We got what's this one? I'll stick up for you, Drip. I'm a massive fan of caves as well, as is Bruce.
There you go.
You seen his latest video?
Yeah.
That bamboo shark.
Yeah.
See, the last when we went on the Jolly Boys outing back in Easter?
March. Late
End of
March.
March. Yeah, Easter.
Yeah.
Easter weekend.
Yeah.
Liam decided it was a good
Liam
idea.
just decided on his own to get a shark.
No. He pressurised him.
I can't believe that.
Bamboo shark. So if Jazz is watching, it was this guy, not me.
I was on the phone. I was on the phone.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't. You were going, how cool would it be if you came back with a shark? You know, like you get it on a lead and walk it in the door.
Just to clarify, he's missed his comment on something was, which one of you idiots thought it was all right to let dickhead come home with a shark?
Oh dear. So Drippy's getting the blame.
Yeah, but anyway, the size is
squid. That squid.
Yeah.
That piece of squid, and it just literally just.
It also nearly went for his powder blue yesterday. He told me as well.
Oh dear.
Okay.
And then you've got Pelagic. Be watching from the Maldives next week. Fantastic. Right. So, well, we're talking about holidays.
Holidays.
Oh.
Yeah.
Holidays.
So the holiday season is upon us. A few of us have been away, going away. Everything else. What do we do to help prepare for holidays? Gareth, what about yourself? What do you do when you're going away?
So I do a water change. I pretty just like the basics really. Water change, make sure my RO container is completely full. Test. I put UV in as well. So I made in the Max Nano because I had dinoflagellates. I made my own UV canister.
Yeah.
So I put UV in and I run that the whole time, but I'll take it out as soon as I get back. I even go to the effort of I worry about my neighbour feeding. So with this new setup, I'm looking at getting an auto feeder. Just because I'm away, I then have to rely on my missus to feed the tank. But what I do is when I go away, I buy a bottle of Aquaforest Mysis because it has the squirty lid.
Yeah.
And I tell my neighbour no more than 1 to 2 squirts a day.
Yeah.
And then that way I'm getting a proper measured proportion every time. He's not like standing there doing like 5, 6, 7 squirts. I've literally said to him 1 to 2 squirts a day. That is all. So I use the Aquaforest Mysis when I go on holiday, basically, for that sort of fail-safe feeding. But yeah, no, apart from that, I think everything's... I clean the pumps as well. So I clean the skimmer pump and the return pump because, like, say there's a storm in the summer and there's a power cut and then nothing comes back on afterwards. I don't like have an Apex or anything. It's Max Nano. So I can then be reassured that everything will just kick back in and come back on because I have found with the Red Sea that if you don't clean it, and you I don't know if you found this, Paul, with your Peninsula, if you don't clean the pumps that regularly, when you turn it off for maintenance, you turn them back on, they don't come back on.
Was this the return pump?
Yeah, and the skimmer one.
No, they've both been all right. I must admit, I haven't cleaned the skimmer. In fact, I've only cleaned the return pump once in 2 years. in.
Don't get on the clean police over here. I didn't know that. Oh, honestly. What's about we now? No, carry on.
Can we carry on?
But yes, I'll give the pumps a good clean, take them apart, give them a really good clean, put them back in. And that's pretty much it. I don't set up cameras or anything like that because I know
that's what Jay does. Jay has a camera.
I couldn't do that. And to be fair, like, I don't think my missus would like it when my little boy's having fun in a pool and I'm sat there on a sun lounger looking at my tank. I think it might cause a few arguments. So like, and I always say to my neighbour, like, if anything dies when you go away, like, it's not your fault. Don't worry about it. In touch wood. Every time I've gone away and he's been looking after my tank, I've literally come back and all I've had to do is clean my glass. Like, I haven't had to worry. Yeah. So
just run loads and loads of rower floss and get your nutrients really, really low and just tell them to feed the tank whatever it wants. And then you
No, see, I couldn't sit easy with that. I have to buy that bottle specifically for it. So
if I had someone who's house sitting and come around, and I put all of the food in little pots. So if we're away for 7 days, then there'll be 7 pots by each tank, and just say only feed one of those pots. A day. So I do that. If I'm using an auto feeder, I always set the auto feeder up about a week before, because auto feeders are notorious. In the first couple of times you use them, they'll dump sometimes nothing in, and other times they'll dump loads and loads of food in. So I've even put it on the side, filled it up, and then let it go round in a turn and you can see how much come out. Because I just think because with the auto feeders, you've got a little slider on it, whether it be the Apex or the E-Heim, which are pretty good. You have to nudge there's a little bit of plastic that opens and closes, and trying to get that spot on is not easy. And if I use flake, I always crumble up the flake as small as possible because the bigger bits of flake get stuck. And if I use the pellets, I use the really small pellets. Because again, bigger pellets, if they all get gunked together, it can stop it. So I've used auto feeders quite a bit in the past, but I always, and a couple people put about doing, so I always set it all up about a week before and let it run as it should do before. Might be a bit overcautious, but I find that that works quite a bit. But I never leave anyone to come around and feed to their own devices. It's kind of, that's where you got to feed. Don't do any more than that. When we was in Rome earlier this week, I actually put mysis in a fridge, so defrosted it, and then there was a syringe, and it was like, do not put any more than 5 ml of mysis in. I mean, Sam's pretty good, and he did that on all 3 tanks for 3 days, so that's mysis. But
I think the temptation for most people who will babysit in a tank is obviously fish don't say no, do they? Let's be honest.
They look hungry. They come up to the glass. They wanted food.
Well, that's what the Yorkshire Reef was telling me at Love to Reef. He was saying that he can't come back from, I can't fit whether it was the show he went to in America or what it was, but he was saying that when he came back, I think it was his mother or his mother-in-law had been looking after his tank, and his phosphates were absolutely through the roof. And she'd been feeding them every time she walked past the tank.
Wow.
Yeah.
You can't blame them.
So happy about that.
Yeah. So let's get some comments and then come back in a minute. So I've got Fred staying for 2 weeks next month, 3 cubes frozen per day. I always prepare my tank.
I've gone on to blister packs, which isn't normally what I'd do, but I've gone to blister packs because it's foolproof. I've just gone 1 cube or 2 cubes, and it's a little bit easier to control that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, makes perfect sense. I always prepare my tank 1 week before I travel. Try not to clean any equipment 1 day before I travel, as things can go wrong. Also, 2 cameras pointing in sump area and main display. This is where the Red Sea 3-in-1's pretty good, Drippy, because if the temperature goes, you'll know about it. If your return pump stops, then your water level will drain.
Yeah.
And then you'll get your ATO will show as too high.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good. I found on that side that even though it's not a temperature controller, it's a temperature monitor. So it's pretty good. So if you ain't got an Apex, you can see what's wrong.
No,
We have
don't get him started.
We have someone else here who's running the 3-in-1 ATO Red Sea.
What, Tom?
Thomas.
Are you?
Yeah.
When did you start doing that?
Thursday? Wednesday?
I've not. Well, yeah.
Tuesday?
Yeah, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, Wednesday. Yeah, set it up Wednesday in the garage. That's on the frag system.
I think it's an unbelievable bit of kit.
Well, you got it for free, so it's gonna be it's got to be top notch. Or you got it for free. You won it, didn't you? To be fair,
Mate, I won it off you, off Red Sea, which was amazing. Tom's setting up his garage. Tom's been good to me, etc., etc. I like helping people out, mate. Listen, what is 100 quid or blah? Just have it, mate, and let me know how you like it. And someone, I would struggle to be with that one now, and I've only had it 6 months.
Will you pay my invoice from today, please?
No. Earning all that money decorating, look.
Yeah.
So Gary, you're gonna get the Red Sea 3-in-1 then?
Yeah, so I've got the DD one, but I want the 3-in-1. Yeah, I want to sort of go Red Sea.
But I want to say, Paul, to be fair to Red Sea, is it does feel and look like a quality piece of kit, whereas other stuff I've seen in the past has been a bit cheap, tacky, not just Red Sea, but cheap, tacky, flimsy, questionable over quality, and this, to be fair, looks solid. So, yeah.
And for money, what can you buy in a reef and hobby for 100? What are they, Paul, brand new?
I think it's 180 if you don't have the bracket and 200 quid if you buy it with the bracket.
Right, so look what that does, 200 quid. Do you know what I mean? You can't even buy one XR15 for that.
You get a guy from the room coming to rescape your tank.
Well, great. Should we move on quick?
Yeah, okay, let's see what else we got. It's best to do any changes 2 weeks before a holiday, as anything you do affects things. Also treat the week before as if you're away. Yeah, absolutely, John. Makes perfect sense. I make sure I top up all the supplements, auto feeder and ATO. That's about it. Battery backup is definitely a must. Just upgraded mine. I do the pots each day. Man, it must be big pots for your tank.
I bet. Yeah.
What a tank he's got, by the way.
Yeah, 13-foot monster.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Wonderful tank, that legend. I never know how to say his name. How do you say that?
Rob.
Rob. Rob for short.
Yeah, Rob.
Yeah, Rob, you don't know me, but I very much like your tank, mate.
Apex and a ring camera pointed at tank. You're amazed at what that's picked up over time.
Yeah, particularly, yes. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
I love this one. I got a mic on my fish ring camera, so I shout instructions on cleaning the glass. Left a bit, right a bit.
Mate, I'd get a few hand signals back if that was me and mine.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Right, what else have we got? I used some water thin super glue direct from Bond Fix, mixed it in with Marco rock powder to fix rocks together before finishing off with Marco 400 cement. Sounds like a thorough job.
Dedication.
Absolutely.
I'd put stuff on a dosing pump rather than ask somebody to dose something, because I'd rather a dosing pump follow what I wanted to do than a human being.
My mum at 70, sorry, mum, 70. We'll leave it at 70.
She's not watching. Don't worry.
No, she's everywhere, mate. Trust me. She was dosed in the Zeofit system, mate. Let alone food while I was in Zanzibar. She's a better reefer than me, my girl.
That's true.
Yeah, my mum used to when we used to go away. She used to hate it. Feed the tanks, top up the ATO and all that. She used to get so nervous. And then one of Sam's tanks that he had, the heater got stuck on, and it fried some of the fish. She was absolutely beside herself. There's nothing she could do. We didn't have a temperature controller on it or anything else. Right. But she blamed herself. But when something like that happens on a heater, that's what I say. If anyone comes in and says, whatever you do, it's not your fault if anything happens. Yeah. That's on me. You're just there to feed. And if there's a problem or you hear a sound or anything, then give us a bell, and you can FaceTime nowadays, can't you?
One
Fairly easy.
one downside of having your mum doing that while you're away on holiday is that you get messages saying that the tank's making a funny buzzing sound, and turns out next door neighbour's cutting his grass. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, the hearing's not what it was. Yeah.
Is that a backhanded compliment?
Well, that's a true story.
It's a lot cleaner than where I thought it was going, so that's good.
Fortunately, it didn't take a turn, so we're quite grateful to you, Drippy, on that occasion. We'll move on before it does.
Turn, not mine, obviously.
Anyway,
my mother doesn't do things like that.
Right, okay. So, just seen that this year's MACNA has been cancelled. I don't know where it was supposed to be this year. I know they've had problems when it's not in places like New York and Florida and Las Vegas. They struggle, I think, to get people there. But when it's in those three locations, usually okay. But I don't know.
You imagine people like Chris Meckley taking a week off from that huge facility, or you know, imagine him with all them. I don't know, what must he have? Millions of pounds worth of corals in the hands of, you know. I don't know whether his right-hand man or woman would go with him to something like that, but can you imagine the anxiety over that?
Yeah.
He's a wholesaler though. He's not a direct supplier, so he wouldn't have gone. But I get your point.
But no, don't Meckley speak at them.
He speaks it. They don't showcase corals. He's a wholesaler.
I know, but he's still away from his facility while he's there speaking, isn't he? That's what I'm saying. The anxiety of that. I've got to cut the toadstools that I'm packing my pants over.
It's all relative, Drippy. All relative.
As always.
I'll keep it relevant, mate.
Yeah.
Right. Any nightmares?
Yeah, your mum looking off your tank and saying it's buzzing, and it's not.
I tell you what, that's as bad as it gets. Yeah. So anyone in the chat had any nightmares? I'm trying to think what problems I've had. I haven't really had any because the longest I've been away is 10 days. Everything, whilst it's all automated, someone popped in on 3 days and it was all right.
Not last tank before, I've had CO2 bottle run out on calcium reactor. So that's why it always runs out when you're on holiday. So trying to tell me father-in-law how to put a CO2 bottle onto a calcium reactor and calibrate it isn't the easiest thing to try and do while you're in Spain. But I've had to do that before. That wasn't easy. Always seems to run out. Check the needles, pressure, everything looks all right. And 2 days into the holiday, 0, it's run out. You can tell because obviously your alkalinity is flopped, gone through the floor. So that's happened to me before.
Yeah. So I'm trying to see, is anyone, because I haven't had, touch wood, I've had no reefing nightmares when I've been away. Let's go through some comments while we're thinking about it.
And the other thing I'd say is temperature in the summer. Remember, like a couple of years ago when we had that real heat wave over here.
Yeah.
That we went away to Spain that year, and I had a fan, but that temperature, it wasn't a nightmare whilst I was away. Well, I don't think it was. But because I come back to everything alive, but that was like my one big worry because you've got all the windows shut.
True.
Yeah. So I've got the DD controller and the DD fan. But even with that, you know, if it starts getting hot and hot quickly, it's going to take a while for it to go down. I think I haven't had any nightmares, but I'd say temperature's my biggest worry out of everything.
I think the fail-safe we've got these days is a little bit of technology which can be a little bit double-edged sword sometimes. It can play in his favour, also play against. But in that scenario, you can obviously turn lights off, you can turn things on, off, whatever, remotely, which, you know, years ago you weren't able to do. It was a bit of a luxury. Now it's sort of or an expect. You know, it's a, you know, we take it for granted that we can check temperature on a phone or an Apex or another, you know, format.
That's what I'm looking forward to when I get the Red Sea ATO, because then I'll know how much water I'm going through a day because it tells you, but also it will tell me if my tank's too hot. Whereas the DD one, all it does is alarm if it's too hot or too cold. Like, don't tell me on my phone. Yeah.
Well, I find there is a little bit of a difference in the temperature because I got the probe, which is the DD controller, in the display, and then I've got the probe, which is obviously the ATO, which is in the the back chamber. And what I find, you get a bit more fluctuation in the temperature, because what happens is sometimes you obviously got the water going in, the RO, and then for that period of time, it will slightly be out. And also the heater is in the next chamber next to it. So there is a difference by about half a degree or something, which to me makes no difference, because even if it's a half a degree or 1 degree, it makes no difference. The whole point of that is if your temperature fails, you know it's going down, and you'll know it's totally out of sync, or if something else fails. So that's more of it, that you get that extreme, that if it goes to like 29 degrees or it went down to 18, I know that's not just a bit of a difference between that and a DD controller.
Yeah.
I also find that in the summer we close all the windows, the curtains, and everything, because that actually keeps the heat out. I think it depends what way your house is facing. So I very rarely have the windows open in the summer downstairs.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Even when it's like 30 degrees, the tank was all right. And the garage was, bizarrely, considering the sun's on the garage all the time, it never went above 28 degrees because it was just enclosed. So you don't try and restrict the hot air coming in.
I think the worst one that anybody can experience would be a power cut while you're abroad.
Yes.
Yeah, prolonged one, yeah. But then there's nothing you can do about it, is there? That's just sod's law, isn't it? There's nothing you're going to be able to do.
Well, the battery backups would come into play there, wouldn't they? Not that I have.
Well,
It would for a few hours. So I've got the Ecotech ones on 2 of the 3 tanks. So I test those every so often. So they would last probably.
Are they all back up to what?
The power heads.
Power heads, yeah.
Right. So obviously temperature and oxygen would be the first things that would be the 2 things that would actually kill anything in your tank, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So temperature.
It's got flow.
Yeah, flow would be okay. I'd rather have the flow than the temperature, because it will take time for the temperature to go down.
Yeah.
A smaller tank, it would obviously go down quicker. When I had the 450 litre, that was out for 7-8 hours, and the temperature hardly shifted.
Well, Tom would be home by the time his temperature even got to about 25, how we normally run all our tanks. Your boy would be home by then. Runs it at about 38.
No, I don't. I'm already at 27, 28.
It's the flow I'd be more concerned about.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, having a battery backup's pretty good. I mean, Steve's got a generator, but he has to be there. If he was away, he hasn't got it plugged in. He just can't physically plug it in whilst he's.
You just know that in a power cut, Steve would not give a flying, and that thing would be going on straight away.
I know he's used it before. He's had it only in the garden.
Can you imagine? I would love to. A squirrel on a tree in his back garden.
Yeah, I can imagine you as a squirrel, to be fair.
Yeah, I've been called worse.
Yeah. Right, let's have a look. Now, there was a comment right at the top, wasn't there, to do with holidays. Let me go find it. It's here somewhere. There you go. Just back from holiday. Always hate the prep before going. Have a large enough ATO is always an issue. And same with dosing containers. It can only go away for a maximum of 14 days.
Yeah. The Grumpy's on about, they do quite a large one, didn't they?
Yeah, so Red Sea advertise it that the Reef Can 18 can sustain a 200 litre aquarium with RO for a week. So if you buy the next one up, depending on how big your aquarium is, obviously. But you could buy the next one up.
Yeah. I mean, what I did, I bought a massive. So I went away for 10 days in a 450 litre tank, and the container wasn't big enough. So I just bought a massive container, put the ATO in that, and then that was fine. So I just bought a plastic container and shifted it over. You don't want
it standing in front of your tank while you're on holiday, do you?
Yeah, I've had the same at Matt's, because he's gone to Turkey for 10 days. I've been feeding his fish, and he did 125 litres of RO before he went away. And I went through it. We went through it in 4 or 5 days. So because his RO machine was that crap with how slow it was, I've been having to go to my house, do 25 litre bottles of RO, and fetch it to his house to keep topping everything up, which is a right pain in the backside.
They don't call him Matt the Prep for nothing.
No.
Well, there we go. You heard it here.
He's got a surprise when he gets back from tomorrow morning from Turkey. He's got a coral table full of Kenya trees.
I'll tell you what, you could ask in the chat about your freaky spiders.
Oh yeah, I need to send this Paul actually. Well, you're probably not. Yeah, so I did a tank breakdown the other day. Well, tank breakdown. There's not much left in it, but I got. Did you start in the group, didn't you, Paul? The Bristol star that I put in.
Bristol star or Bristol? Did I sit in the chat? I don't know.
Mate, this thing is
it was the size of
these. Because I'm on Sam's machine. To my emails.
Yeah, but anyway, it was
maybe it's all cold.
Yeah, it was something off Alien. It was a bit big, a bit too big for my liking. But yeah, it's yeah.
Well, look at that. There you go, Drippy. He loves you.
Tim, you're a good lad, mate.
Right, let me just put it on solo.
Yeah.
You have to just twist the screen a little bit.
Well,
oh, yeah, absolutely. Of it.
Mate, it looks like one of the Australian water spiders.
It's going to go on your head. Just like the film.
Freak out.
It's mad.
It was a bit big.
The size of it.
It was a bit big. Yeah. Yeah. We got
and then Laura's saying, I've not been abroad for 10 years for that reason. The anxiety of a holiday is next level with my place, which is understandable because it's obviously got the coral farm.
Yeah, not surprised.
Oh, is that Jill?
It is Jill.
Jill, get yourself back in here.
Drippy's on the live stream. He wants to say hello. Jill's not very well.
Do your bonnet? Come on.
Give me your cold.
Here she is.
Little kisses.
How are you? Off.
Right, can I go now?
Yeah, you can go now.
Okay,
yeah,
I'm going to bed now.
All right then.
Night.
Good old Jill. Yeah. What a
right. Where was I?
The best woman I've ever come across, she is, I tell you.
She's what?
The best dog woman I've ever come across.
Best dog woman. I've passed that compliment onto her. Dear. And love to Reef. I had to tell her about Saxby was turning up because Saxby didn't have a ticket. And if he'd come through the door and he only had a ticket, she would have stopped him at the door. And then all hell would have broken. It would have been funny to watch.
You should have not told her and filmed it, mate. That would have been priceless.
How did you describe him to her?
Father Christmas.
I just said an old guy, grey hair, looks about 80. I don't know if he is about 80.
She could have been on about John Wright. She could have stopped John Wright coming in. Sorry, John. I'm joking. John. Calm down, John.
Right. Okay, let's move on. Oh, dear. There we go. So, pelagic swimmer, thank you for saving us. I had my skimmer pump break about 2 days into a 14-day holiday. That sucked. Absolutely.
Or not.
I'd rather spend the money on reefing.
Yeah.
What else have we got here? My nephew's got my keys, and that's my holiday prep. Sometimes I leave him the algae on the glass. He likes it that way.
You know what's so funny with John's comment there, because when that
I'll tell you what would be a good. Sorry, I'll tell you what would be a good poll.
Sorry, I was talking then. Did you notice that?
Yeah, you're boring, man. Do people get put off?
Look,
by
if you can't spit it out, I'll carry on saying what I was. Look, you're ruining the flow here.
Go on, carry on.
No, go on.
Who am I listening to?
Me. I'm interested to know if people get put off going on holiday because they have a reef tank. Is that it? Yeah.
I thought it was worth it.
I had a whopper and you interrupted me for that.
You say your whopper whilst I'll try and do a poll.
I'm going to Burger King, I've got a whopper.
You have not got a whopper. It is definitely not an Happy Meal either. Go on, sorry.
I mean, I'm just switching accounts to
get. Remember on live stream, not in my front room doing my tank.
It's past 9 o'clock now, anyway. What shit? We're all right.
All right, wait a minute. I'm just trying to get my YouTube up in here because at the moment Sam's YouTube is up here.
Oh yes, I do remember. But
go on. What was you going to say, Drippy?
I was going to say, with John's point there, saying he'd rather spend the money on reefing. One thing that did crack me up when the electric prices started going up, and someone, it was either on Ultimate Reef or Reef to Reef or one of these things, he was saying that he's going to have to shut his tank down because he's all these things plugged in and the fridge and the freezer, blah. And everyone was just commenting, just unplug your fridge, mate.
Right, I can't do a poll because the only YouTube I can get into is Sam's, and I don't want to mess about with his YouTube channel.
Oh, no.
I can't get into mine. So if you put in there about does having a reef tank put you off of going on holiday?
Yeah, going abroad. Yeah.
And I'm just going to go through some comments there. Growing up, my uncle looked after one of our biolb tanks with pea puffers in, bleached the white glass sponge scrapers. It was green, all died. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Alex was all good till it tripped the electric the other day, pulling too much through the socket of the tank. Has anyone other than police set up a separate fuse spur socket feed for their tank? Do you think there would be any issues if a tank is run from a double walled socket on a main ring?
Well, that's what mine's run on.
Yeah,
I went through everything in my system with a friend of mine who was an electrical engineer, and he said because of how low everything was, probably not the case if I'd have gone with the T5s. Obviously, I went to LEDs. I was good in the safe zone. So I think
you've still got about 14 sockets around your tank.
Yeah, I've got plenty. Yeah. That's a ring I want.
So so my tank is in front of a double socket. I've got 2 8-headed power surge extension bars with individual switches.
Yeah.
And if I run out of sockets, I then run my mate who's a Sparky, who has also run tanks before, and told him, could I get another one and plug that into one of the extension leads to then have, and he said, mate, it'd be absolutely fine for the low amount of power that they pull. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
I think if you get an opinion from someone who knows what they're talking about, i.e. a Sparky, it will put a lot of that sort of anxiety to rest.
I agree, because a lot of stuff, you think you had 16 sockets, a lot of that stuff's not even going to be on all the time.
No.
If you're going back dosers, I mean, if you look at, especially if you look at Mobius, if you've got Ecotech stuff, when you look how many watts the stuff's pulling, it's not pulling much at all.
One kettle probably pulls as much as the majority of all of the stuff on my tank.
It's your heater that's probably pulling them. Would that be pulling the most?
Well, the lights, the XR30s, I think, are quite bulky, but not stupid.
It depends on what kind of.
They're only on. As well. They're only on from 10 till 10.
Yeah, absolutely. So right, there we go. Away for 2 weeks. ATO, don't let it run out. Feed fish once a day. Yeah.
Actually enjoy the holiday.
I think that's it. It's like going on holiday and worrying about what you couldn't go back to. Are you then are you going to enjoy your holiday? You sat there on your phone looking at your Apex all day. But,
yeah.
Because I went away on Sunday, on Saturday the Scully. So I've got a war paint Scully. Looked really rough.
Yeah. By the way, that looks amazing.
Yeah, well, it did. And on the left-hand side, you could see the skeleton. I'm thinking, oh no, this is really bad. I had to get on a plane at 7 o'clock, and then when I came back on the Wednesday, it looked as good as gold. And sometimes polls, for no reason, just look like crap, just to wind you up. Scotty, I'm thinking, should I put it in another tank? Blah blah blah. No, just leave it, and it was as good as gold. And I didn't worry about it, didn't think about it once, because it's one of those things, if it's going to die, it's going to die, isn't it?
Yeah. While I was away, lovely.
Yeah. 2 years ago, 48 hours before I was due to go away camping, I got a letter informing me I would have a scheduled power cut whilst I was away. Oh no!
Just so raw, isn't it? It is just classic.
I was just say, let's be honest, it's never the agreed downtime, is it? It's always more.
Yeah,
like I love reefing. Like, it's my second biggest passion next to my job, but I can not go on holiday. Like, there's no point living your whole life around a box of water. I just don't. I get it in like Laura's thingy because that's her job, but I just couldn't not go. Like, I've got a family. Like, I'm not going to restrict my family's experiences and like seeing different parts of the world just for a box of water. It's like my mate's got all my corals at the moment because of what happened in my holding tank. He's going away June the 21st. He's back July 21st. And he's going away again for a weekend on July 27th around then. I'm not getting my corals back until August. So from June the 21st till roughly August, I'm relying on his mum that has no reefing experience to keep all my corals alive. But I can't be going around there like every other day to make sure, because otherwise I'm not going to sleep. I'm not going to live properly. So
the neighbour don't start cutting the grass, otherwise he's going to get bombarded. They're out there.
Yeah.
Note to self: make sure the neighbour's not cutting the grass if you hear funny sounds.
Can you please?
Yeah, it's funny the other day because my little holding tank's at the back of my kitchen, which backs onto my downstairs bathroom. And my missus was in the downstairs bathroom. We could hear this weird noise, and she realised it was the tank. It's literally the other side of the wall.
Oh dear. Yeah, auto switching, battery backup, such peace of mind. Absolutely. I think if I had a tank that size, 13 foot, and everything that's invested in it, I'd think about auto switching. Are you going to do anything like that, Tom, or are you just not going to go away?
I've got Alex. I've got Alex Brooks, who's not too far from me.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah,
I think there comes a point when you've got a tank like Pelagic Swimmer, you and others. There's bound to be others in the chat that I don't know that well. The investment financially and also the effort, knowledge, all of that has got to play a part when you're on holiday, because it's the sheer investment. Do you know what I mean? In that tank.
I think that's when you have that redundancy when it automatically switches over and all that kind of stuff. You invested that much money and time in a tank, then actually you invest in the backup for it.
I think you've got to invest in, I think I kind of agree what Gareth's saying, but at the same token, you've also got to have the right people. I mean, you know, you've got to have the right friendship circle who know what they're talking about. Because for me, I've had people, like I say, come home from holiday, I'm going to blame the father-in-law, which isn't always a good start, is it? Because he's overdosed or done something I told him not to do. But then at the same token, well, at least he's done it. Is it better that he did it than not do it at all?
There's a bit of someone in the chat.
You know what I mean? So I think for me,
that's what Drippy was saying the other day, because I was talking to him on Instagram about like my corals, like really struggling and stuff like that. And then I was like, mate, it is what it is. Like, if they go to my mate's tank and within a month they're absolutely fine, and his mum keeps them alive, and I've got them back in my tank and they're fine. Like, but if on the other end they could die, but it kind of is what it is. What I said to him, what do I do? Do I watch them just slowly dwindle with my holding tank, or do I take that chance? And I had to take that chance. So
it's always better to be proactive, and if something bad does, you don't blame yourself as much.
No. Yeah.
I mean, other than power and feeding and dosing, there's not much anything else a hobbyist would know about unless you were going to be constantly sending ICPs off. You know, everything else is kind of just,
you want to keep it as simple as possible.
Yeah,
for someone that ain't a reefer as well.
Yeah,
geez.
I think so.
Absolutely. Yeah. Right, some other things about the battery backups. Return pumps for 10 hours. Going to check it. When it's powered. I'm sure it will run a powered for longer. Talking about DJ switches. And also people using about computer power backups, because I talk obviously about the Ecotech one, but that's limited to just Ecotech. But I do know a few people that use the computer power backups that they use for servers. So they're quite popular. You can buy them off Amazon. They range from 100 quid up to 400 quid, depending on the size, and they're easy to plug in.
The battery in the Ecotechs are mobility scooter battery, isn't it?
Yeah, because Reef Dog got a video about it. I think they're like 150, 200 quid, the Ecotech ones. Yeah, you can buy them really dirt cheap and just replace them in those cases. So there's cheaper versions around for sure that you can use.
Yeah.
Maybe do a stream on backup plans for electric cut for everyone, not just on Ecotech back. That's a good point. How do you deal with if the electric cuts out, and what things you can do?
Jay had a bad electric power outage, didn't he? In the winter, he wrapped his tank in foil, didn't he?
That's because of aliens. No, he did. We almost had a Cobra meeting on that one.
That was coal spawning, wasn't it? He done that for, wasn't he?
He was trying to pretend not to go back to work.
Yeah, it was that as well. So yeah, he did. He wrapped it up, sung it a song. He used his battery air pumps as well. So I have a couple of those spare as well because they're quite handy if you want to keep the flow going.
Yeah,
but yeah, we could cover that, John. What's this? I fill my ATO on a timer twice a week automatically. 3 years, never had a problem. Got to touch wood on that one, but yeah. Saxby the legend, yeah, he absolutely is. 14-night cruise with no internet. Haha, leaving a stranger who knows nothing about reefing. No, I'm not worried one bit.
Enjoy your cruise.
Enjoy it, yeah.
Absolutely. As Ryan is aware, this community is more than just reefing, it's looking after each other. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
No, it doesn't stop me going on holiday, though. Relying on my brother to feed the fish is bad news. Always seems to be a drama. It don't put me off holidays, but I don't relax as much as I did before I had one. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
I've got 18 plugs on my 220, all from one double socket, all okay so far.
Yeah.
I've got 60 sockets in my fish room.
Wow.
Still need more.
Yeah.
I wonder what he uses the most sockets of. Like what has he got the most of? That takes up power heads, maybe.
Lies. Got a lot of XR15s, I think. From what I've seen Rob's has. Yeah.
Oh yeah, if they're XR15s, I'm on a 13-foot. How many lights you got, Rob, on a 13-foot?
Well, you've seen how many pulls got over the display tank in AAC.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And that's 8 foot, isn't it?
I'm sure he's got a lot of lights from memory.
What's that? 13-foot, maybe.
No,
I might be wrong.
He's nice.
2 banks of 6, 2 banks of 8. I'm sure he'll tell us in a minute. You'll need another 60 when the new tank sets up, Rob. Lovely, thanks. I'll try and work out how many sockets plugs I need and how best to fix them onto a board of some sort before I get it wet. It's only a 300-litre tank, so won't have too many. I think it's one of those where try and keep it simple, because if you look online and on YouTube, all the different things you can have for a tank, and actually, do you really need it? So I think it really depends on how simple you
Can
keep
I just say something? Is that when I had my first tank in my missus' house,
yeah,
if I didn't have two, because some people put tanks in really tight spaces, right? So you'd obviously put the extension lead in first, then push the tank in, then fill it up. Well, you ain't moving that tank now.
Yeah.
So trying to squeeze one down the side, if it's a tight fit somewhere, you're always better to get them 2 sockets with how it. Go big first if you're in a tight space, because once that tank's filled with water, you ain't moving it, and it's very hard to slide. You ain't getting a plug down a tight space down the side of a tank to get another in when you realise you need more sockets.
You never have enough sockets on a reef tank.
No, but I make that cock up first, so if I can help him not to make that,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's where I think
I had a board made, which was literally an electrician did it, or my friend's father-in-law did it, and it was just literally a board with a plug on the end of it, and it had lots of double sockets, and literally just daisy chained all the way down. Now it's the back of the tank plugged into one single plug, and it was great because I had like all these doubles on the inside of on the sump.
I think if I don't know if Rich is new to the hobby or what, but if the longer you stay in it or the more it grips you, you will need more sockets. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the good thing, I suppose, about having an Apex, because you get the power bars.
Yeah.
And you've got one plug socket, and you've got, is it 6? In the UK, I'm sure it's 6 on one of the bars. In America, it's 8.
6 or 8. I think it's 6.
I think it's 6 as well. So that helps.
I'm sure it's 6.
Yeah.
It just helps.
I'm no longer an Apex virgin.
Oh no, Drippy's dropped, broken his Apex cherry. Yeah.
Okay.
So what I got probe wouldn't calibrate in the 10 solution. That's how far I got. So I've got to go and get another 10 tomorrow.
Okay.
Enjoying it so far.
Apex, I think they're brilliant. I've had Apex for years. Really, really good.
The ATO, the 3-in-1 ATO,
8-pole,
kickstarted my
What was it?
having stuff on an app that you can see data-wise and things like that. That's what really made me realise that, blimey, reefing is a lot easier and there's a lot more information, data that you can work off and work with and etc. Yeah.
You just got, it's more like, what it can do is drive you to chase numbers more. But if you just use it as a peace of mind, that's why I think it's really worth it. Because otherwise you can become obsessed by what you see and then just worry about it. But it's just a nice backup, really. If anything goes wrong, you can get told about it. Good comment. Having someone who knows reefing is ultimate peace of mind. While away, it's priceless. And then there's a couple of comments here about I bought an EcoFlow River 2 that will run my return pumps for 6 hours, and it costs less than several of my fish, and you can monitor it remotely. Okay.
EcoFlow, never heard of.
And there's another one here about I'm thinking of using a 2048 watt hour EcoFlow unit as a backup. UPS expensive, but have used them while touring in the motorhome, so should power a tank. I have to look that up. It's a good alternative. Let's see what else we have got. There you go. DJ light bars, 1 plug, 8 outlets. My son is an electrician. He put in extra 2 sockets for free. Absolutely. There we go. 19 radians are using the multi-port petal leads.
19 radios.
I thought it were radions. Yeah, I knew he'd got a lot.
19.
How many banks has he got?
Why not round it up, Rob? Make it round.
No, that's Lee. Or was it Rob that said 19? Did I miss it?
No, Ian commenting he ain't got 19 radions, will you?
Have I missed what? Oh, I see. Sorry, 19 radians. I missed that. Apologies.
Yeah, I thought it would be.
Why the odd number?
Maybe it's got one in the sun.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, fair point.
Frag tank.
Yes. Try not to go down the controller route if I can help it. I mean, if you buy the Red Sea ATO 3-in-1, it's an ATO, and it just comes with some bells and whistles. It's not a controller; it's a monitor.
Yeah,
because you can't actually control anything. So it's a. I mean, I like the Apex, and I'd recommend the Apex, but the 3-in-1 is not the same. But it's a slightly. It helps to monitor your tank, but nowhere near as good as an Apex does.
Yeah,
but a lot cheaper.
Also, if you don't want to go down a controller route, don't.
Yeah, it's a fair point.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, it's not for everyone, is it?
No, absolutely. It's the same battery backup I've got. I don't know if that's the EcoFlow. I'm intrigued about that one. I'm going to have to look that up. Agreed, Lee. Got me to get an Apex. He's been an absolute legend. Helped me to set it all up, etc. And loving it so far with the auto testing 3 main elements.
Yeah,
absolutely. The River 2 is such good value for money.
EcoFlow, got to be something to do with Ecotech, isn't it? Surely, no?
No, I don't think it is. I think it's just a coincidence in the name.
But he's got one that's broke at the minute. That's why he's on 19.
Absolutely. Right, let's look up this. If we've got time to look up this, I'm going to get chucked out in 2 minutes because that was the deal. No, by Sam, because he wants to do some live streaming.
I think Sam would probably look better in that chair than you, to be fair, Paul. Sorry.
Probably does.
It's just the yellow t-shirt and the red. That's all. That's the only.
He'll be start playing Golden out N64 in 5 minutes.
Right. Let's see if I can share this screen. Right. So this is the EcoFlow. If I got the right thing. So, it's like for camping and stuff like that. If you can see it on the screen. Let's take that off.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Somebody put that on yesterday on Instagram. Saw that.
So they got a price is $699, $449.
Yeah, rivetable mat. Somebody put it on. Can't remember who did it. Sorry, whoever it was.
So $449 one.
Yeah.
Let's see what this is like.
Power station.
Looks a tiny bit of kit.
Yeah. Looks like my missus' air fryer. The Ninja.
Ninjas start making battery backups.
For reef tanks.
Well,
there we go. Right, let's get rid of that. So it looks pretty good. Worth a shout, that one. But looks like it's a thank you for a few people that have recommended that. We are out of time. So thank you for everyone joining, bearing with us while I had a few technical problems. Thank you from the hotel bedroom chaps. I'll let you two crack on, as they say.
Right, Tom, ring them up now, Tom, quick.
Gareth, thank you for joining us a second time. Hopefully you'll come back for your hat trick at some point.
Oh no, this is my hat trick, Paul.
Is it?
You must get a free T-shirt for that, surely. I'm on two.
It's my third time, so I want loyalty points or something.
Loyalty points. I'll stamp a card.
You know what you get? You get shares in Love to Reef Grumble. That's what you get.
You get shares. It's non-profit making, so that's no good, is it?
Sorry, Grump, you get nothing.
Right. On that note, thank you all for joining.
Cheers for joining.
Thanks all. Have a great weekend.
Bye. Bye.